If you were raised by a narcissistic parent, chances are you gaslight yourself. Before we get into it, what is gaslighting? This is where somebody tries to make you doubt reality. So if something happened, they'll say, no, that didn't happen. What are you talking about? You're remembering wrong. You're crazy. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. And when you're raised in that kind of situation, you start to do it to yourself. So you might try setting a boundary with a narcissistic parent, and then you start gaslighting yourself and telling yourself, wait a minute, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I should not go no contact with my mother because maybe I'm the horrible one and something's wrong with me. And I was just too sensitive my whole life growing up, and I just need to continue taking this abuse. So now that we know what gaslighting and self-gaslighting is, let's get into the 3 steps on how to stop doing that. Step number 1 is to first and foremost understand that it is completely normal to gaslight yourself, especially when you've been gaslit for your whole life. I myself was also raised by a narcissistic mother, and I really thought it was the norm to gaslight myself. And it wasn't until I actually started my healing journey that I realized, oh, this is all conditioning from literally my whole lifetime. So just recognizing that it is so normal to gaslight yourself because you've been conditioned to gaslight yourself can be such a huge step on your healing journey. Let's look at it this way. If you were like the most confident person ever with no issues, and you were super confident in your decisions after, a lifetime of narcissistic abuse, and you did absolutely no work to get to that point, that would be kind of weird, right? So you're normal. Step number 2 is to become aware of when you're gaslighting yourself. So something you can do right now, grab a pen and a piece of paper and make an inventory list of any times that you can remember. Like, don't rack your brain too much, but like maybe in the past 2 weeks, make a list of the times that you remember you gaslit yourself and just kind of read them over and reflect on them. And you can take it a step further and sort of debunk the gaslighting that you were doing to yourself. So for example, if you told yourself that you were too sensitive last week, you can actually debunk it by writing next to it that you're a human who experiences emotions and you're not too sensitive, and it's your narcissistic parent that made you believe that you were too sensitive because your emotions were always an inconvenience for them. And step number 3 is to do the inner emotional work. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record here because I probably say this in most of my videos, but I cannot stress how important the inner emotional work is. The emotions of guilt, shame, and fear are the main emotions that narcissists use to manipulate their targets. And those emotions are repressed within you. And this can amplify self-gaslighting, because when you start making decisions when you're in an emotionally repressed state, you make bad decisions because you're listening to that inner critic. And the best way to kind of quiet the voice of that inner critic and actually be able to stay grounded in reality is by focusing on the emotions and processing them. And there's only so much I can say about processing emotions in one video. And processing emotions is really like an entire program which I teach in my group coaching programs. If you're interested, you can check them out at the link in my bio. But for now, if you want to learn how to take those baby steps on how to process your emotions, I do have a free quiz, and the results are going to give you information on how to process your emotions, plus some exercises on how to do so. Just head over to the link in my bio and you can take the free quiz.